Good evening, everybody. Welcome to another edition of Bedford County Live. We're coming live to you from the good city of Shelbyville, Tennessee, and it is 8 p.m. on what is it, the 26th?
February the 26th.
February 26th, the year 2024. I'm David Thomas, and this is Mr. Bo Gill.
Hello.
And before we dive into it, Bo, we've got a lot to talk about tonight, but I want to stop right now and hear just a word from our sponsors. We appreciate these guys for stepping up. Y'all, while we're going through this first part, go and invite somebody. We got a very important show tonight. We need your input. But stay tuned.
Text a friend, call a friend.
Yeah.
We'll be right back.
Send them a link. We'll be back right after this.
Get the results you want with the personalized service you deserve at Dennis Young Insurance Agency.
As a local independent agency, we offer coverage from several different companies, including Erie. So whether it's auto, home, life, personal, or business, we can find the right coverage to meet your unique insurance needs. And with a rate lock advantage, your rates won't go up as long as you do not change drivers, autos, or addresses. Contact us at Dennis Young Insurance Agency, insuring Shelbyville and surrounding areas since 1988.
Okay, welcome back in here, everybody. Again, we want to thank our sponsors, Dennis Young Insurance here of Shelbyville, and also Lowry Jewelers out on North Main Street. They've got a sale going on, as you saw on your screen there. Also, Dennis and them out there, they do a good job, Bo. They can take care of any kind of insurance.
They sure do. They've been around a long time, yeah. Homegrown. Go check them out.
Homeowners, auto, commercial, you name it, they do it. And, of course, Lowry Jewelers been around forever. Out on North Main Street, if you have a need or a want, and I'm sure
or they do service. They'll service
you
watches.
Ladies out there are going to want diamonds. Guys, go check out Billy.
And the real diamonds, the real good diamonds.
Yeah, the good ones. But we want to get in real quick here, Bo, and talk about a lot of things that happened over the past week. We've had, we posted a video of a road rage situation, which just totally blew my mind. I don't know if you guys saw it or not, but that was very interesting to see unfold.
It was.
And hopefully that situation's been rectified.
I hope it has.
Okay. And also we had there's a couple of fires, some wrecks, and a lot of stuff. And Bo, that's one thing that we're not going to dive into at Shelbyville now. We're not going to pile on to these families when they're in the middle of tragedy.
They're in the middle of life-changing tragedies, and you know, like we had talked off camera, the things that we should report are maybe tragedies that impact the public and maybe public commerce and travel and things like that. But we don't want to dwell or you know, report gruesome tragedies in our county.
Yeah. So we pretty much made a policy: house fires and wrecks that involve fatalities. We're not gonna get into it, guys. I hope you respect what we're talking about there. But these families don't deserve to have to look at that after they've already gone through it and then have to relive it. And I experienced it myself when I was a kid, and it made a lasting impression. Lost a loved one, and I read about it on the front page of the paper the next week, and it wasn't very fun to relive. So we're going to respect that. But we got a lot of things going on, Bo. The one thing in particular, I guess it's been 3 weeks now. You did some drone footage. We got it posted, and it was of the homeless camp down on the river. Since then, it's been moved.
Wow, what a difference a few weeks makes.
I know it.
And that comes from you know, the leadership in Bedford County, or in the Shelbyville Police Department, Shelbyville Mayor's Office, and the Shelbyville Public Works.
Well, I'll just tell you, Bo, the leadership came from the community.
It did. It really did. And that's what we were talking about. The real leadership came from the community that has been seeing these homeless camps from the road. But really, the drone provided a view like no other. And what that did is it caused such a reaction by you that the city officials had to respond. It was kind of time to respond, and boy, did they ever respond. Yeah. And that's kind of how you get things done.
Well, leaders create action.
They sure do.
and followers react.
That's right.
Okay, so what we had was a case of some community people, just resident citizens, voicing their concerns.
That's all it was.
And it took place on Facebook. It took place at the coffee shops. It took place just in general conversation. Did you see that? Did you realize it was that bad? And people didn't realize it whenever, it got exposed. I think a lot of people started talking about it. And then I think it caused, some of our public departments to say, hey, we need to do something about this. The public's really not happy. So
the moral of the story is you can make a difference. We can all make a difference together. And it just comes from being that leadership at home, that leader at home.
And the thing about it, our public works department and our police department responded to that.
That's right.
And it's just good to see them to follow through and get that done.
It really is.
Now, Bo, the next thing, I know we've got some footage of possibly where this camp is transplanted, and we'll put that up here before long.
We will.
But I think for the most part, those folks either found a place or they scattered and went somewhere else.
They did. Today I was driving down Cannon Boulevard at the River Park, and I noticed families picnicking on the concrete tables there. I saw a man down there fishing, and that was pretty much all the traffic it was family. It was park-like atmosphere, and it feels back. Now, that is in that one designated area, and it looks great. But of course, we would be hesitant to believe that they have disappeared.
Well, Connie, she brings up Connie Hasty. I appreciate the cleanup, but there's still some trash behind the Riverview. Well, that's probably the location of the new spot you're talking
probably
about.
Some of the footage that we've picked up recently, and we will be posting that. But no, they didn't disappear, and they have gone to other places. I really hope that some that really needed the help got the help when they were told to leave. That maybe that was just what it took. But I do know that there's still a homeless problem in Bedford County, just as there is in every county and state, probably in America to some extent.
What we got to make sure we don't do is turn into a whack-a-mole game here. I know you go clean this one up and it pops up here. We're going to have to work on all fronts, and it's going to take our community to do that.
That's right.
And in the process, help those that need the help, that want the help.
And that's part of the community. The church is a big part of the community,
right.
and they're taking that task at hand as we speak. But it's up to us as well. And I just want to say thank you to everyone out there listening that responded, that had something to say, that got this done. So you did it.
Okay. Emily is asking, is it city property behind Never Rest on the river?
Yes, that is.
Down for a certain point.
It is behind Never Rest.
Okay,
it goes back behind
Pat
Carlisle.
Ray's asking Riverview building. No, Riverview is Riverview Drive.
Riverview Drive and Pickle Street. It kind of horseshoes off of Cannon Boulevard. One of the roads is the soup kitchen there. It kind of horseshoes back and goes to a low flooded area close to the rear entrance of the rear part of Never Rest Park.
Okay, right. So that's the Riverview. Is what we're talking about, Riverview Drive.
Yes.
But hopefully we've got a lot of people looking at that and keeping their eyes open. And when we find out a spot, we need to point it out and make sure that somebody's working on that. Yeah. And hopefully one at a time, maybe the folks that need help will get help.
They'll need help.
That's the bottom line.
They'll get help. And instead of next county, they're saying, where do the homeless go? We'll go to Shelbyville. They'll say, where do we stay away from? And that's Shelbyville. And that's the message we need to get across.
Right.
Is if you're homeless, don't come to Shelbyville.
Right. If you're here and you need a place and you want help, there are people here that's going to
homelessness may happen, it just happens. And we're not saying, that it won't happen and we won't, be there. But we're saying is the people that were coming from out of town, it was just getting really, really crazy.
Emily, who do we need to call if we see encampments on city property? That's a good question. I think the best thing to do would be call City Hall. I don't know. I don't think you call Public Works. Maybe you call the police department. I'm not sure. But I do know this. If people make enough noise, something gets done.
That's exactly right.
And I think that if we make enough noise, I think our city public works and our city police department will check on it.
Yeah, I would say call the police first because they coordinate very well with the public works. And, they can check out, make sure it's a safe situation first before the public works go in there. But always, if you see something, say something.
All right. I want to ask this question to everybody out there that's watching tonight. I know I made a post earlier today make sure to join us tonight. We appreciate you guys tuning in, but also War Trace Town Hall meeting was canceled tonight because there was some sickness. And I think they didn't have enough to have a quorum. It's what the post said on their Facebook page. And I reposted that so everybody would know. And I hope some of you folks from War Trace are joining us tonight. I know there's ball games. The Cascade girls are playing basketball tonight down at Loretto. And I don't know, I hadn't got an update on that. And Sheffield Central played at 6 o'clock. And I hadn't heard a score on that game. So if anybody knows the score of those games, chime in and let us know. We just hadn't had a chance to check on those. But hopefully they both did well. But War Trace, we're really Chevrolet Homeless Blessing page. Okay. I guess that means that's where you contact if somebody
that is
needs,
where you contact,
yeah.
and they've been doing a great
Yeah.
job with the cleanup. They've been putting out advertisements for cleanup and for helping
Right.
everybody putting in. So great organization there. That's right.
All right,
Contact
let's
them.
shift gears now toward the War Trace situation. This is something that's been going on for years. I interviewed Tabby Stem this past week, and she told us her story about living there once before, then coming back, and she couldn't believe that the water problem was still as bad as it was. And I can remember this conversation going on 30 years ago, Bo.
Yes, I can too. And I was a teenager when this was going on, and so the meeting got canceled tonight. They did have one a week or so ago, right? Was this about?
Well, they had
this
a
issue?
town hall meeting on Friday night or
Okay.
Thursday night
Okay.
last week.
Okay.
Thursday night, I'm
So,
pretty sure.
So there's
yeah.
a lot of talking going on,
Right.
and there needs to be no more talking. I think that we've reached the point where no more talking needs to be done. There's time for action. I mean, when I sat down and thought about this, I was maybe 13 years old, and this was still going on. Maybe because of a bad decision in the past, whatever it is.
Well, I think I think it gets to what we were talking about earlier. It takes leaders to get stuff done. Okay, leaders are proactive, not reactive. Okay,
Exactly.
And right now, everybody is in reactive mode. Okay, somebody at this point has to step up and get proactive. Okay, we've got such an age system over there. That means that throughout the years, people thought whoever was in the role to do this, it's just going to cost too much. We can't afford to do it. Maybe they don't make a good return on it for whatever reason. But it is 2024. That's the year 2024. And we have part of our county that struggles to have running water.
And not only, the number one required resource for the human to exist is water, and we need to. It's time for another citizen action to get this.
Well, I
some
think it
action done,
started.
because this is it's getting to where it's almost silly, because there's talking, and then there's town halls, and then there's little squabbles in between, and then there's some task force that won't. But the talking, it's time for the talking to be done. I think it's time maybe for the state to come in.
Well, I think they could help.
I
mean, there's grants, and from what I understand, there's a grant on the table that's been sitting around for a while. It's not a whole lot of money, maybe $600,000 or so, and I think it's been sitting around. And I don't know if it's going to take millions probably to fix.
It will,
but I'm sure if the state, there's a way the state can aid in this. It's been going on for probably 50 years now. And Jason, may I send you a message? Yeah, sure. Jason, it's admin@shelbyvillenow.com. But this is an open forum, and everybody, give us your opinion on this. I think what happened on Thursday night was everybody got to vent their frustrations a little bit on what it was. Now, the guys that are sitting over there today are not totally responsible for what's happened for the last 30 and 40 years.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Not.
But it's their job at this point now to be reactive.
It's time to
because it's too late to be proactive. Okay.
It's too late.
So now you can take from today. It don't matter what happened yesterday. It's what happens tomorrow now.
That's right. And we're at that pivotal moment. Look, guys, the water in 2024 that is could potentially cause sicknesses. You're having to boil your water. When this is something that just needs to be, I know I'm saying it, make it sound easy. I know it isn't easy, but it needs to be fixed.
Yeah.
And it needs, and I know there's people that can rectify this, and it needs to be, I think the time for talking is over. The only talking should be done is I think a phone call could probably solve this.
We talked about playing whack-a-mole with the homeless situation a minute ago. I think the water department at War Trace is playing whack-a-mole with all these lines collapsing and
I'm sure.
leaks here and leaks there, and it causes water pressure to go down everywhere. That affects things in Bell Buckle and Cascade School. So you got this age system that is in such bad shape. They probably feel hopeless.
They're
gonna have to have somebody put a plan together, and don't talk about it. Activate the plan. And if it takes money, that's something that the state's probably going to have to help with.
That's right. And I foresee that being, the way to handle this, because there's something that's not working in the city of Wartrace where they can get this done.
Yeah.
currently.
Well, here's my question: is there anybody out here that understands what it's going to take to fix it? It sounds like to me that most all the lines need to be replaced.
That's
am
what
I right?
I don't.
I think we got exposed, and we saw it during the freeze,
And then,
during that week that it got down below zero. We saw all this problem over there.
and now it's exposed it more. And here you go a few weeks later, and they have a bull issue in, and it's just going to happen again and again and again until it gets finally fixed for the long run. And how does that happen? I'm not sure, but I do know that it's time to quit talking, because I think everybody is aware of how serious the issue is. It's time for action. I can't say it. I can't say it enough.
Okay, so Mike Bynum, where is the mayor? We have not heard from him. I don't know what the situation is with any of the elected officials over there, elected representatives.
What we know is that there's a water problem, and we're trying to bring awareness to it. This is what we're doing.
There are other people that want to share their stories, and they're very similar in nature. So we could do a ton of interviews.
Yes.
And Connie's saying probably a new system, and this could be happening in any part of the county. That's true.
Oh, yes.
I think there are other parts of the county that do struggle.
Well, I mean, the city's got old infrastructure. And
Well,
they
saw
worked it all the
also
time.
out at Pleasant Grove,
Yes,
and
that's
out
right.
at Will during the freeze, they had lines, and that's to be expected. That's going to happen when you get down below zero like that.
It is.
But we're so vulnerable. Okay, Donna Smith, but we're over 100-year water lines now, 60-year-old lines, and over 100 miles of lines.
It's time.
Lines need replaced, but they don't know the location. They were talking about mapping the lines. Well, I guess that would be a good start.
See, there's
Donna.
another Donna. With all due respect, there's that word talking again. They need to start doing it. I mean, it seems that that's all that's going on is talking. I mean, where's the action?
I think the action comes when they get some money. So they're going to have to take action to get the money.
30 years.
Like the grant.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Get the grant money. Dadgummit. Okay. There it sits. Do it.
Or
right.
try and then tell us that you couldn't get it. I don't know. It just.
But I think the public needs to be updated every day. And your Facebook page doesn't need to be locked where you can't comment.
I did not know that.
Okay. That's
but
against the
true.
law, I think. But from what I understand, they locked it where you couldn't even make a comment. Okay.
That's not good.
If you can't handle that,
you have to
just turn it over to somebody.
Well, if you don't let the people know, they come up with their own ideas of what it is. And that's exactly what's happening right here. They know that there's a problem. Some people know exactly about it, and most people don't. It's time to get a coordinated statement.
I honestly believe, and Laura Blake brings up a good point. Imagine what condition all of the water pipes are in the rest of the towns and county that people are ignoring or don't even know about yet.
Yeah,
let's go on and say that.
Yes, and I would say that's an issue all over
and
the
Chrissy
country.
Moore, I hope they get the water issue resolved. It's going to take a long time. I'll be honest with you, Bo. And I don't know, Laura brings this up. All these other areas, you have a lot of rural areas that have these lines running for maybe even a mile before it gets to the next home or whatever.
Yep.
Here's the thing. Are we at the point to where everybody just needs to dig them a well?
I think it's smart. You can call Landers Drilling and he'll hook you up, I'm sure. But it wouldn't be bad to have one. I mean, if you've got good water under you, that's the best way to drink it if it's tested.
I would hate to depend upon a system that's got 60 and 80-year-old pipes for my water. I would hate to do that.
I would too, but that's what we're doing. And it's come to the time to here we are where it's time to maintenance and to replace. And, it's time to start replacing is the only thing. But I know that that's easier said than done, like most of these things. But awareness needs to be made to this. And especially, look, Shelbyville doesn't have these boil warnings and all this. Wartrace does. So they need to be fixed now. That seems like a dire situation.
The Shelbyville situation is a lot different because it's more fluid.
It is.
The rural areas are where you're suffering the most.
Right.
And of course, Bell Buckle is affected by the war trace situation. When you saw all those leaks come up during the freeze, well, Bell Buckle got in a crisis. Their level dropped. They had to cancel school for a day because they couldn't operate schools.
That's right.
And then I think they had to cancel a ball game.
It falls.
In the process.
The chips fall as it go, and we can talk about the history and what they should have done. They should have kept the spring. Yeah, maybe they should have, but they didn't. And here's where we are today. So it's time to get it fixed.
Okay, Connie, it says groundwater is not available in this county. That's why they went to water systems in the county. Well, I know years ago out on Lewisburg Highway in the Rock, okay, my grandmother had a well.
Oh, there's wells all over Bedford County.
Yeah.
And as well as there's rocks.
Oh, yeah, there's plenty of rocks.
Warren Landers could tell you exactly. And there's probably more wells in this county than you would think. There may be more abundant water in other counties, but we do have our
Okay, Donna Smith, you should see the black goo that comes out of our shower heads, and our toilets have nasty rings. We honestly don't know what we're you don't know exactly what you're drinking or showering in.
Maybe you struck oil.
And Emily wants to know, why does the War Trace get their water from Tullahoma? Because that's the closest source, probably because they have lines closer than the city of Shelbyville.
Well, they were getting it. They had a good spring there, and I think the decision with George Dickel came in. There was some deals made, and here we are.
Yeah, and Laura brings another point. People are going to start moving out of there if they don't get off their butts and actually fix the water issue.
It's time. It's time.
Yeah,
it's going to be hard.
All right, Wendy Merriman says, I thought they lifted the boil water requirement. Are we safe to bathe in this water? Okay, they lifted the boil water thing, but I don't know if I would call any water coming out of a pipe by a system safe to drink.
You can take a shower.
Take a shower, maybe. Okay.
But that's the problem. They're going to issue another boil. It's just going to keep on happening more frequent as we get until it's fixed. It's a Band-Aids or not. I'm sure War Trace utility guys are working their butts off, but their hands are tied.
Oh yeah. And I feel sorry for them because they really are up against the wall.
Yeah.
And they've been put there over a period of time, and they're the ones that's going to have the most things hurled at them at this point.
That's right. But it's time. I think what a heck of a legacy you could leave to a town, to a community, to all come together and make this happen. Whether it be just your voice or any type of action. I think what a historical time this is. I mean, it was historic when you first got all this piping. Now it's time to replace it, and I think that's a big deal.
Jonathan Spitz, how's it going, guys?
What's up, Jonathan?
Oh, everything's wonderful, Jonathan.
Just wonderful.
Just wonderful. But
I'm thirsty.
Anybody that lives in War Trace that has more insight on this than we do, please chime in and let us know. Maybe there's some stuff going on behind the scenes. There shouldn't be any behind the scenes at this point.
Now it's water.
Okay. All right. It's if the alderman and the mayor and the system is doing it, then they need to tell everybody what they're doing. Okay.
Yes.
If they don't know what to do, they need to say, we don't know what to do.
It's simple. That's great. I would much rather
just communicate that. And I think that, the frustration is going to be there, but maybe that will give them some inkling as to where they stand.
Yes. Well, that
instead of everybody wondering. Because when people start wondering, they start talking about it.
That comes with the job. You got to make hard decisions. And I'd say the best, the good decisions aren't going to make people happy, but you have to make the decisions, and it's time for decisions, action, and less talking, a little more action.
They only have one employee working right now on the water issue. There's a problem right there.
Yeah. They need to contract. They need some help.
I wouldn't want to be that poor guy.
They need some help. I mean, obviously, that one guy working and the whole city, I mean, which is not a huge city, but it's enough that I would not want to be responsible. One guy is handling all the issues there.
Yeah, and it's spread out too. It's not just right there in the town of War Trace. It's outside. It's out on Philippi Road. It's on Horse Mountain Road. It's all around that area and all the way to Bell Buckle.
Right.
All the way on Bell Buckle, War Trace Road.
It's bigger than, it's not just the town. You think of just War Trace. It expands out, and we're going to stay on this story, and we're going to investigate it further. And
Mike,
we want to
get says they are contracting out at this time. Who are they contracting with? Are they doing something with Tullahoma, or do they have Duck River helping, or do you have any idea, Mike? It'd be interesting to know who they're contracting with, and those people they're contracting with have knowledge of what really needs to be done at this point, or are they just coming in on the tail end guessing like everybody else?
I would think that there's some engineers around that know exactly what what the issue is, and can probably relate that
D&M. Okay.
D&M.
I don't know D&M, Donna, but your point up there about the time of the Gazette reporting that the War Trace pays $21,000 in unconsumed water that leaks in the fields that they can't find. Is that $21,000 a month, Donna?
Wow. Probably so.
Yeah, that's wild. I mean, that's just money out the door. That's off the bottom line. That's enough to pay for some of the issues, to start paying on.
Yeah, that's not good.
Brian Smith's company at this time. Okay. Byron Smith. Okay. All right. Well, if anybody else knows what their plan is, does anybody know what the plan is? I hadn't heard any plans at this time.
No, I have not heard any plans. I've heard that they've met about plans, but
Donna
I haven't heard
says
any
yes,
plans.
21,000 per month. That is a wad of cash.
That is a lot per month. $21,000 a month lost into the ground. Now, anyone that knows at the last town hall or the last meetings on this, was there any type of solution, or was it all?
They just listened. It was just everybody.
It was listening.
They didn't take any questions.
Okay.
No questions
Okay.
allowed. Okay. All right, Laura Blake, for a county that claims to be the best in the world. Okay.
Laura.
A country that claims to be best in the world. There sure are a lot of second and third world issues here. Reliable, safe water should not even be a concern in this country or county. It should be a no-brainer. I agree, Laura. That's
it's as common as it gets. Well said.
Yep. 21,000 per month off just into the ground.
A little less talk, a lot more action.
I just wonder, does anybody have a clue, or does the company that's doing this now have a clue how many leaks they're dealing with based on a pressure test of any sorts? Does anybody know that? And we're on here asking questions, Bo. I want to know.
I want to know too, because we know we know about what the issue is, but we don't know the day-to-day workings. Like, how is this being handled? Is your water pressure sufficient in that area? I mean, or is it just day to day? What are the challenges that you're facing? I mean, I think public knowledge would be better just from citizens that may see this video later on or watching tonight. It would be very important, because there seems to be a lot of non-information out there, if that's such a term.
Well, here's my question. Do you guys that are in Bell Buckle and War Trace area feel like that you're getting enough information from the city or the town of War Trace concerning this? I know they've put out the boil notices and they've let people know that they're working on the issues. And that, are you communicated with outside of Facebook, or are you getting phone calls? What else?
Are you even asking? I mean, are you talking, or do you care? I mean, this is a big issue that's going to affect. It could affect everyone.
Okay, leaks could have shown up last summer and fall due to our dry summer. Mm-hmm. Okay, yeah, that would have shown.
But there's new technology now that'll account for that. They're more pliable ways, and it might be a time to get that. For the pipes that are leaking.
I don't know anything about it, but it would seem like there would be pressure tests and segments of lines to know.
Yes, you're right. You're right.
To isolate it. I don't know. There's got to be.
Yeah, you wouldn't want me laying your water pipes, that's for sure. But I do know that the older material is the type that tends to.
Okay, here you go. Donna's saying they are installing zone meters soon, but it was started at the meeting that zone meters were already there. No one knows where they are and need recalibrated. Nobody knows where they're at and they need recalibrated.
Wow.
That
sounds like a Scooby-Doo episode.
Yeah, it does, or a Three Stooges episode, man. Well, this just gets better.
I believe that zone thing is the digital way they can read the water usage. Is that what she's talking about?
I think that the zone meters will tell you what's being used in that certain period on that certain stretch of pipe.
Right.
And they know if it's extremely high, they've got problems, and they know what's probably typical and what's not. So
easier to pinpoint.
If you go to your own meter at home, if you got a leak somewhere and that thing looks like a frisbee spinning, you got a problem. Okay. So there's a way to figure this out. It sounds like to me that it's going to take a lot of money, and that's going to be your number one holdup.
I think that is, but I like you mentioned earlier, I think that there are resources and emergency funds available for this exact type issue, because I can guarantee you that War Trace is not the only small town in America going through this, and small town in Tennessee going through it. So I would say reach out to your.
All right, Ashley Smith, I'm interested in getting a well on my property. Who did Bo mention to contact for that? Landers Drilling.
Landers Drilling. That will be Warren Landers. He's got a team. They'd be glad to talk to you. I'm not sure their number, but look up Landers Drilling, Shelbyville, and that should lead you in the right direction.
Okay, Wendy Merriman, they haven't told us anything. We didn't know to boil water until we heard it on the radio. Water pressure is also always an issue. Yes. Well, that many leaks, it's going to be an issue. Okay, guys, here's one other thing. Has anybody contacted the state health department to report these conditions and maybe get some sort of emergency declared? It sounds like to me that it's going to take citizens doing this to just like, we've got to do something. Let's do it. It's kind of like the homeless case. Y'all are the leaders. You don't have leaders. You are the leaders. Yep. Okay. You have elected representatives. So here we go. Yep. You be the leaders, people. You show them exactly what's happening. And that's when you make awareness and you have enough of citizens making that awareness, they're going to come. They don't know about the problem. They're not going to come. Make them know about the problem. Okay. Mike Bynum, a lot of the problem, I think, is that we've lost several employees that had knowledge of the area and location of many of the lines. That's a problem. Yep, that's a big problem. Yeah, so that knowledge has to be recorded. Well, passed on. Is there any chance of getting some of these guys back to help on a temporary basis, just to like say, hey, that's a problem, that's a problem, that's a problem. And they might be passed away. I mean, I would sure that John Hart, Landers Well Drilling, 931-684-5689. Warren, we'll send you a bill tomorrow for the sponsorship. I'm just kidding. Okay. The sad part, Bell Buckle's water manager and a past long-term employee of War Trace Water said he knows everything about the existing lines. They said they have offered the town help and even parts, and we're not allowed to help. That is garbage, Donna. Somebody needs to be jumping up on somebody's desk and screaming about that. This is where the really small town politics gets in the way of the public well-being. This is a big problem, and it's a big problem in every county, every city, but especially it seems to be more in these smaller, closer. When's the election over there? I don't know. I don't know if they stagger it or what. I know they just had a few reelected, but that right there, if that is a huge problem, and that has to do with egos and not wanting the best for the residents around there. And if that's true, that's sad. If I'm an alderman over there or I'm an elected rep, I'm gonna say, guys, this is not my fault this happened, but by George, we're gonna try to get this fixed today and start making phone calls. I don't know. I mean, it doesn't take sitting around in a conversation and decide to vote on whether to fix it or not. No, I mean, it's stupid. Just fix it. That's why it's kind of hard to understand. I mean, that it sounds like so easy and common sense and elementary what you just said, but I don't think it's been said. I don't think that anyone's gone in and said that. I said this to you earlier, Bo, off camera. There's a lot of good old boys around that are elected to be representatives. And one-on-one, they got it going on. But you put them in a group and they toss their brains out the door. Yeah, I don't know what happens. They do. Well, that's where the strength comes in, because they either leave or they diverse and people won't join them. I don't understand. All right, Greg Davin. Okay. Donna Smith, 2 aldermen are coming up soon, but only citizens with the town get to vote. Just within the town. Okay, that town needs to make wholesale changes. Greg Davenport, how do I sponsor the show? Money up front? How's it work? Money, Greg. Money. No, just call me. We'll get you on here. We'll get you. It's just mind-boggling to me. It is, and it's sad that we're talking about this now. That and it's such gotten out of hand the way it has. It's not those guys' fault. It's not their fault, but their reaction to it is on them at this point. It's the biggest potential reaction right now. The years, 10 years, 5 years down, it's on every one of them for not coming up with a solution. Now it's time that they have to make a decision and action, and it's on the current administrators in that city. And it's time. Or you just kick the can down and then let the future people deal with it. That's the only decision. All right, Laura, I'm not going to read your post, but yeah, you're right on point there. That's what we call it here too. But it's frustrating for everybody, because you're going to get up in the morning and you're going to try to get ready for work. If you work, okay, most everybody around that area works. Either they got a farm and they got to get up and do something, or I got to go to a job.
Good people in
And
war
you
trades.
turn that spigot on to take that shower, and nothing comes out. Okay.
That starts a day bad.
Now, don't get me wrong. Modern technologies have expanded for the last 100 years, but running water was something that everybody's had since the 1930s, probably. And it's just it's mind boggling.
It is. And, you know, we can't say it again. You know, we do, you know, the people in war trace, some of the finest people in the county live in war trace. And it's a shame that for water can't be to some of their houses, farms, and it's not dependable. You want something dependable in life. You want your water to be dependable.
Okay. Now this is what's mind boggling to me as well. Benjamin Burris, that's exactly what they have done for years, been kicking that can. Now it's time to pay the piper. Yeah, it's going to cost a lot of money, Benji.
And I hope they don't decide to kick that can again, Benji.
Who are the aldermen of war trace? I don't know, but there's a list on our website under politics.
Yes.
You can look at it over there. But the people in war trace know. It's also Normandy. Okay. You got that issue everywhere over there.
Right.
Okay. So my concern as far as what we're doing here is we're trying to bring awareness to it and try to get people together. And I know that there's people that wanted to go to a meeting tonight and watch some action taking place. And somebody got sick and they couldn't have that meeting. So the question is now, when is it going to take place? They didn't have enough for a quorum, is my understanding. I don't know how much it takes for a quorum.
It depends on the size of your.
And I hope they have an action plan in place for that next meeting and say, this is what we're going to do. Boom, boom, boom.
Well, I
boom.
also hope with today's technology, they have an action plan where they can put some monitors out where they can Zoom for maybe homeless.
Well, they can Zoom.
This is an important issue.
Yeah, I know.
And unless you're on your deathbed, I think that maybe you can comment or listen. That's just my opinion.
Yeah, Zoom. The technology is there to have a meeting anytime. So sounds like a cop out to me. I don't know.
Hey, we're not.
Right.
We're just trying to.
All right. So here we go.
solutions.
Donna Smith. Here's the alderman: Sheila Ladier, Joe McCurry, Stacy Roach, Ben Cataldo, and Sonia Miller.
There you go.
Okay. I'm sure there's people right there in that group that want to get something done.
Yep.
And it's time for them to have a stern stance on this.
Yeah.
Okay. Whoever they are. If you have an alderman that you know, say, look, just take a stand for us. We need to get this done now. If we can't handle it here, let's call the state of Tennessee. Okay. Let's just ask for help.
If you say, if you don't know, then ask for help. It's simple. Stand beside your citizens and make history right now and stop this problem that's been going on for so many years. We're not getting on the current people that are there. We know this is your inherited problem, but we do know that it's time to get strong, to love your citizens, and to make a change to the most important resource for human, and that is water.
Well, yeah, I mean, without water, we die.
We
Okay.
die. We need
All
water.
right, Mike Bynum, we had a fire on our street last night, and thank goodness we had water. Amen to that.
That's right.
I mean, that's another issue that you don't think about, but when they start fighting fires, it takes water.
It takes a lot of water. It sure does.
And if you don't have water and there's a fire, you got a bigger fire.
Yep, you
And
sure do.
It's not, that's an emergency. Yeah, a whole lot more, Benji. You got Bell Buckle, you got Cascade School, you got all points in between.
We say war trace kind of is to collecting all that. It's Normandy.
I think at this point, I know both county commissioners have their finger on the pulse for this. Okay, they have their finger on the pulse.
Now,
they know what's going on,
right? And if it's in Normandy, there will be some of the five
District 5.
And I don't know if they've been involved in any decisions.
They don't care,
but they ought to be. And you can talk to your commissioners too, because we talked about the aldermen. You can contact that's still in whatever your commissioner's district is. That's their district. It overlays into the city limits of said town. So feel free to.
Greg Davenport said, "Bo for mayor." Mayor of what? Greg,
mayor of Shelbyville now. That's it right now.
No, mayor of what? I want to know, Greg. What do you put him up for mayor on?
Well, I don't live in
start a
Wartrace,
campaign
so I can't
right
do
now. Bug Scuffle? Is that what you're talking
Mayor of Buckscuffle Road?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll take it.
Replying to Mike Bynum, yes, Mike, we were so concerned with the leak from Wednesday, and then you got that fire. Well, guys, we hadn't solved anything here tonight.
We've done a lot of talk, but we hope that it's inspired some action.
Yeah, and I want to end on this. We want to thank our sponsors.
Yes, we do.
And let's stop real quick before we wind this show down. And we will hear from our sponsors now, and we'll be back in just about 45 seconds.
Get the results you want with the personalized service you deserve at Dennis Young Insurance Agency.
As a local independent agency, we offer coverage from several different companies, including Erie. So whether it's auto, home, life, personal, or business, we can find the right coverage to meet your unique insurance needs. And with a rate lock advantage, your rates won't go up as long as you do not change drivers, autos, or addresses. Contact us at Dennis Young Insurance Agency, insuring Shelbyville and surrounding areas since 1988.
Again, we thank our sponsors, Lowry Jewelers and Dennis Young Insurance. We appreciate them stepping up and allowing us to do this show,
Yes.
Bo.
Go check them out.
Great, two locally owned businesses, and been around a long time. But guys, thanks for joining us tonight. We don't solve anything by talking, but we do get to talk with you guys, and we'd like to hear what your concerns are. We're going to be back this same time next week, 8 o'clock on Monday night. Please invite your friends to come and join. We're going to try to put our topics out that we're going to start with, but the main thing is we want to talk about what you guys want to talk about. And before we close out, Bo, I'm going to ask, is there anybody out there that wants something else that you want to bring it up? Something else that you want to bring up that we have not hit on? I'm going to wait just for a second here, and you guys can chime in.
That's what we want. We want to talk about. We may not be aware of certain things that might affect the public in a negative or positive way, and we'd like to be made aware of it. So always feel free to comment, to send a message to us, give us ideas of what you would want to talk about. Look, it's your show. We want to create awareness throughout Bedford County, and that's it. All
right, Donna's talking about the airport. I think you're talking about the tower, the control tower. They voted to fund today. That's going to be funded 95% with federal money or state money.
It will be
on a grant, and I think the city voted to pay like $7,000 today toward that other 5%.
Yeah, they had a meeting.
This is going to take like 5 years to get approved.
Well, in the planning commission, as I said on the Shelbyville Planning Commission, we did approve a parking lot for the school there, the site plan for that. Last Thursday night. So that's just another leg in the development of the school and the tower, all that's with the school. That's going to be nice.
Why
will it be nice? It'll look nice is what I'm saying. It's going to be nice to have a tower there. Top Gun, man, you have these jets coming through. You ain't never seen Top Gun?
But it's no longer going to be the Shelbyville Municipal Airport.
We can do a whole new show on that because
we've already done that.
We've done it. I mean, it's coming. So it is what it is.
We're going to have a lot of training going on. That's what it is. It's a training school at this point.
It's a flight school, and they're going to have a flight tower.
Yeah,
a training school,
and
but not horse training because we are in horse country. They're not going to be horse training.
They're going to be training. They're going to have 60 trainers in the air.
They will, and you know what? It's going to be an elaborate setup the way it looks with the buildings and all this. So
but my question is where does our business pilots fly into? Tullahoma.
Good question.
I know they're going to Tullahoma. That's where they'll be going. All right, guys. Donna, thanks for bringing that up. Shelbyville International. That's it. International Training School. Okay, John. And it's good for MTSU. It's really good for MTSU. And I love MTSU. I just think we shot ourselves in the foot. Any events coming up? I'm sure there are, Emily.
Oh, there's a demolition derby at the Cooper Steel Arena this weekend. I did see that on the sign.
And if you'd like to see cars crash, go check them out.
Hey, the best entertainment.
Everybody from War Trace, go over there, watch them crash. It might make you feel a little better. I don't know. All right, guys, we're going to wind this up. Streets in Shelbyville, they are mass side streets. If they build it, let the school pay for it.
Oh yeah, we got a lot of that coming up.
Yeah,
there's some big planning things coming up in the next month. So we're going to be heavy on the development and planning of the city. So stay tuned to that. But we've talked a lot tonight.
Yeah, let's end on this. True leaders are proactive. Followers are reactive. Remember that when you vote.
Be a leader.
Y'all have a good